I never imagined the day I'd stand up to my family would feel like stepping off a cliff into the vast Arizona desert. But there I was, in the sleek conference room of Weston Biosolutions. Our family's empire nestled in the heart of Phoenix's booming tech corridor. The sun streamed through floor-to-ceiling windows, casting long shadows over the polished oak table that screamed old money meets new innovation. My name is Emily Weston, and at 28, I just graduated summa cum laude from UC Berkeley with a degree in environmental science. Yet, to my mother, Victoria Weston, seated at the head like a queen on her throne, I was still the black sheep who'd rather hug trees than crunch numbers. Victoria's designer pantsuit hugged her frame, her silver necklace glinting like a badge of authority. To her right was my younger brother, Jake, 25, and already the golden boy with his Stanford MBA. Promoted to VP of operations faster than you could say nepotism. The air was thick with the scent of fresh coffee and unspoken tension. Emily, this eco-warrior phase of yours has gone on long enough, Victoria said, her voice sharp as a cactus spine. You've played in the dirt at Berkeley. Now it's time to join the real world, our world. Our world was Weston Biosolutions, a pharmaceutical giant worth over $4 billion, specializing in cutting-edge biotech drugs. Started by my great-grandfather in the dusty boom towns of post-World War II California, it had grown into a powerhouse with labs from San Diego to Seattle. But I'd seen the underbelly, questionable waste disposal practices that skirted EPA regs, all in the name of profit. I've got a job lined up with the Southwest Environmental Alliance, I replied, keeping my cool. They fight for clean water in communities hit hard by industrial runoff. It's where I belong, Jake snorted, leaning back in his leather chair. The same outfit that's been poking around our disposal sites in Nevada? Come on.
Eminencia.
That's like biting the hand that feeds you. He always called me Em. A leftover from childhood that made me feel small. Mom's right. This company's paid for everything, your tuition, that cozy condo in Scottsdale, your whole life. Victoria's manicured nails tapped the table. Her wedding ring, a massive diamond from some Nevada mine, catching the light. You forget, Emily. Family comes first out here in the West. We stick together, build legacies. Your grandfather understood that. Grandpa Harlan had passed 3 years ago from a stroke, but I suspected years of ignoring red flags in our operations had worn him down. I'm grateful, I said, but gratitude doesn't mean I sell my soul. I've seen the reports, our plants dumping chemicals into aquifers that feed rural towns. People are getting sick. The room went colder than a winter night in the Rockies.
Victoria stood,
her heels clicking on the tile. She'd been a rodeo queen in her youth before marrying into the Weston fortune. Tough as nails and twice as sharp. If you walk out that door to join those tree huggers, you're walking away from us. No more trust fund.
No inheritance.
You'll be on your own in this big, bad desert. I pushed back my chair. Maybe being on my own is exactly what I need. As I headed for the door, Jake muttered something about revoking my keycard to the family ranch. Victoria's parting shot echoed. Choose wisely, Emily. Out here, family is everything or nothing. 3 days later, a courier showed up at my condo with a letter from Harlan and Associates, the law firm that handled my late grandmother Clara's estate. Clara Weston had been a brilliant chemist in the 80s, the brains behind some of our early patents, but she'd clashed with the family over ethics and died alone after a bitter divorce. The letter floored me, a confidential trust fund of $12 million, to be released on my 30th birthday or upon marriage, whichever came first. It was her way of ensuring I'd have independence, hidden from the family's prying eyes. But secrets don't stay buried in the West. Victoria must have her sources, maybe a banker or a family friend with loose lips. That evening, her call came, all sugar and spice. Darling, let's not let tempers flare. Come to dinner at the ranch tomorrow. Just us Westons. We need to talk about your future. It was too quick a turnaround for the woman who'd built an empire on cutthroat deals. I showed up to our sprawling ranch outside Phoenix. The kind with red rock views and a stable full of quarter horses. The table was set for 4, not 3. Enter Ryan Caldwell, son of a prominent Phoenix law family, tall and polished in his button-down, fresh from making partner at Caldwell and Pierce. Emily, you remember Ryan? He's handling some of our regulatory work now, Victoria said with a wink. Over steak and Cabernet from Napa.
They wove their web.
Ryan chatted about sustainable law practices, clearly prepped on my passions. Jake grinned like a coyote, already eyeing a bigger slice of the pie. Victoria dropped the bomb over dessert. I know about Clara's trust. 12 million is a nice nest egg, but without guidance, it'll vanish on your causes. Marry Ryan, keep it in the family. He can manage it while you chase your dreams. I set down my fork. My dreams aren't hobbies.
Mom.
And this isn't some Wild West arranged marriage.
Jake leaned in.
Or we could have you evaluated. Mental health is tricky, stress from school.
Maybe?
A judge could freeze that trust if we express concern. The threat hit like a dust storm. Ryan looked uneasy, but stayed silent. That's when it clicked. They feared what I'd uncover with that money. Clara's old journals, passed to me secretly, hinted at deeper scandals, mercury leaks from our Nevada plants in the 80s, covered up with bribes and falsified tests. I need time, I said, buying myself an out. Back home, I pored over those journals again. Clara's last entry. They think the mercury's buried, but the truth flows like water. Follow it, and you'll find the poison at the source. A text pinged from an unknown number. Clara was right. Check sealed EPA files from 87. Ally. I stared at my phone, then at a photo of Clara and me at Berkeley graduation, her eyes full of fire. The next day, I reached out to a clean water lawyer in Albuquerque. No ties to our circle. Then I accepted Victoria's invite to Jake's engagement party at our ranch, adding, I'd like to toast the family legacy. Her reply, perfect. Dress sharp, the photographers are coming. Little did she know, she was handing me the rope. The party was a Western extravaganza, string lights over the patio, live country band, 400 guests from Phoenix elite to Vegas investors. Jake's fiancée,
Zofia Lam,
came from a big Nevada mining family, a merger in white lace. I arrived in the red dress Victoria sent, playing the dutiful daughter. Ryan latched onto my arm, whispering about our potential.
Ispotet Elena Ruiz,
Clara's old lab partner, now retired in Tucson, looking out of place in her sundress. Victoria had invited her for optics. Elena, I said, hugging her. Thanks for coming. She slipped me a flash drive. Clara's hidden files. The mercury breakdowns evade standard tests, decades of harm. Be careful, your mom's watching everything. Sure enough, Victoria's eyes tracked us. Jake pulled me away for toasts. At the head table, a waiter brought signature cocktails, turquoise margaritas with salt rims, desert oasis themed. Victoria handed me one. To family bonds. Something in her smile raised my hackles. The drink had a faint chemical whiff under the lime. My science brain kicked in, possible sedative? I switched glasses with Jake smoothly. You deserve the fancy one, it's your night. He drank deep. Victoria's face tightening, but saying nothing with eyes on us. 20 minutes later, Jake started slurring during his speech, ranting about hidden dumps and poison wells. Phones came out, recording. Victoria tried to hush him, but the damage was done. I slipped away, texting my lawyer. It's starting. Document it all. The chaos at the ranch unfolded like a bad Western movie, but with biotech scandals instead of gunfights. Jake's outburst went viral before the band could strike up another tune, guests tweeting about poison wells and family secrets. Victoria yanked him off the mic, blaming too much tequila, but the videos were already circulating on social media. I watched from the shadows near the stables, heart pounding. Whatever was in that drink wasn't lethal. My guess was a proprietary compound from our labs, meant to discredit me as unstable. But now Jake was the one babbling truths. Elena found me there, her face pale under the string lights. That wasn't random. Clara warned me about their silencers, drugs to make whistleblowers look crazy. I nodded, clutching the flash drive. I need to get this to my lawyer. As sirens wailed in the distance, someone had called paramedics for Jake. I slipped out through the back gate, driving my Jeep into the Phoenix night. By morning, the story hit local news. Weston Air's meltdown at Engagement Bash, environmental cover-up alleged. Victoria called at dawn, her voice like gravel. What have you done? Jake's in the hospital, detoxing from whatever prank you pulled. I played innocent. Prank? He drank my cocktail after I switched them. Maybe ask what was in it. Silence. Then, come to the office. We need to contain this. At Weston Biosolutions. The boardroom felt like a war room.
Victoria Pacet.
Jake absent recovering. Ryan there as legal counsel. This could tank our stock, she snapped. EPA's already sniffing around our Nevada sites again.
He said calmly.
Maybe it's time for transparency. Clara's files show mercury leaks from the 80s, cancer clusters in small towns like Kingman. Ryan shifted. Those are old allegations, dismissed years ago. But Victoria's eyes narrowed. Clara was delusional. We can prove it. Medical records from her breakdown. That's when I saw the play. Discredit the source. Bury the truth. And if I push? I asked.
Victoria smiled thinly.
Then we might need to question your stability too. Stress can do funny things. Especially with family history. I left feigning defeat, but headed straight to my lawyer, Maria Gonzalez in Albuquerque. She reviewed the flash drive, lab reports, emails, even bribes to local officials. This is gold for a whistleblower suit under the Clean Water Act, she said. But we need more current evidence. I nodded. I can get inside access. Posing as still loyal, I used my keycard to access the company's servers that night, downloading recent disposal logs showing ongoing violations, chemicals seeping into Colorado River tributaries. The next week was a cat-and-mouse game. Victoria froze my accounts, citing family concerns. Jake, out of the hospital, texted apologies. Mom pushed the drug idea to protect you from yourself. I didn't know, but trust was shattered. Then came the psych eval threat, a letter from a Phoenix clinic claiming I needed assessment for erratic behavior. Maria laughed it off. This is coercion, illegal under Arizona law. We'll counter with a restraining order. As the EPA launched a formal inquiry, Plumtzit by anonymous tips, Mina. Victoria upped the ante. She leaked stories to the press. Troubled daughter behind Weston family drama. But I had allies now. The Southwest Environmental Alliance offered resources, and a whistleblower from our Vegas plant came forward with photos of illegal dumps. Your grandma Clara inspired me, he said. She tried to stop this back then. The turning point came at a family mediation at the ranch.
Victoria.
Jake. Ryan. and me around the fire pit under starry skies. Sign this NDA, retract your claims, and we'll release your funds early, Victoria offered. Marry Ryan, secure the legacy. Jake looked torn.
Ink.
Maybe it's best. We can reform from inside. I stood, the desert wind whipping my hair. Reform? After poisoning families?
No.
I'm filing a CATAM suit, whistleblower action under the False Claims Act. The feds get involved, and violators pay triple damages. Ryan blanched. That could bankrupt us. Victoria's face hardened. You'll destroy everything your grandfather built. Grandpa built on lies, I shot back. Clara knew, and you silenced her. That night, alone in my condo, doubt crept in. Was revenge worth losing my family? But Clara's journal entry echoed, truth heals more than it hurts. I pressed forward, meeting with EPA agents in Tucson. They confirmed the old leaks matched current patterns generations affected, from birth defects to cancers in rural Western communities. Jake showed up unannounced the next day, looking haunted. Mom's planning to pin it all on lower execs. But I have proof. She signed off on the dumps. He handed me emails. I can't live with this anymore. For the first time, I saw my brother as a victim too, groomed into complicity. Help me expose it, I said. He nodded.
A fragile alliance forming.
As federal agents raided our Phoenix HQ, Victoria called one last time. Stop this. Emily. We're family. Family doesn't poison each other, literally or figuratively, I replied. The arrests followed, execs for environmental crimes, Victoria for conspiracy. But in a humane twist, I advocated for leniency if they cooperated with cleanups. The West's vast landscapes had taught me resilience, but also that redemption starts with accountability. The media frenzy hit. Western Empire crumbles in desert scandal. I testified in court, detailing the cover-ups, but emphasized reform over ruin. This isn't just about punishment, I said. It's about protecting our water, our land, the lifeblood of the West. Courtrooms in Phoenix have that stark, air-conditioned feel, like a mirage in the desert heat. The federal case against Weston Biosolutions dragged on for months, but I was there every day, narrating the nightmare in first person. I discovered the discrepancies in our waste logs during my internship, I testified, facing Victoria across the room. She looked smaller in her orange jumpsuit, the queen dethroned. Jake sat beside me, his immunity deal secured in exchange for turning state's evidence. The evidence was damning. Clara's files showed 80s mercury dumps in Nevada aquifers, leading to spikes in kidney diseases in towns like Henderson. Recent data I pulled revealed continued violations, neurotoxins leaching into groundwater near our San Diego labs. EPA experts confirmed these compounds persist for decades, affecting ecosystems from the Rockies to the Pacific. Victims testified too. A rancher from Arizona whose cattle died, a mother from Utah whose child had birth defects. Their stories humanized the stats, reminding everyone this was about people,
Not just profits.
Victoria's defense? Overzealous regulations stifling innovation. But emails Jake provided nailed her. Bury the reports. Fines are cheaper than fixes. Ryan. Called as a witness. Cracked under cross-examination. Mrs. Weston suggested the psych eval to discredit Emily, he admitted, avoiding my eyes. Maria, my lawyer, hammered home the legal clarity. This violates the Resource Conservation and Recovery Act, plus conspiracy under RICO statutes. Outside court, the West rallied. Protests in Denver. Petitions from LA environmental groups. The Southwest Environmental Alliance launched a Clean West campaign, using our scandal as a wake-up call. I spoke at rallies. Out here, water is life. We can't let corporations steal it. Media dubbed me the desert whistleblower, but I pushed back. This is Clara's fight. I'm just finishing it. Jake and I started mending fences during breaks. I was blind. He confessed over coffee. Mom drilled family first into us. But at what cost? We visited affected communities, like a small Navajo reservation hit by our runoff. Hearing elders' stories softened us. Revenge faded into resolve for restitution. Victoria's plea deal came mid-trial, guilty to environmental fraud and obstruction. 15 years with possibility of parole if she funded cleanups. I prioritized legacy over lives, she admitted in court. Voice cracking for the first time.
No apology.
But a crack in her armor. I felt a pang, not triumph, but pity. The humane path meant advocating for her to serve in a facility with rehab programs, focusing on reform. Post-verdict, the company filed for Chapter 11. Assets sold. Proceeds to a victim fund. My trust released early under court order, $12 million, which I funneled into the Clara Weston Foundation for Western Water Justice. Will monitor core, fund remediations, educate communities. I announced at a presser in Santa Fe. Jake joined as COO, channeling his business smarts for good. But shadows lingered. An anonymous tip led to more falsified safety trials in Oregon mills. We sued under state laws, winning settlements that restored wetlands. Legally, it was airtight, class actions under California's Proposition 65 for toxic disclosures. One evening at the ranch, now a foundation retreat, Jake and I sat by the fire. What if we'd stayed silent, he mused. We'd be rich, but empty. I nodded. The lesson? Family bonds break under lies, but truth rebuilds stronger ones. Victoria wrote from prison. You win. Maybe Clara was right. No wodoms. But acknowledgement, a step toward humanity. As the foundation grew, we partnered with tribes for water rights, lobbied in D.C. for stricter EPA rules. The West's beauty, sunsets over canyons, rivers carving stone, inspired us. Revenge had sparked it, but compassion sustained it. Rebuilding after the storm felt like irrigating parched land, one drop at a time. With Weston Biosolutions dismantled, I threw myself into the foundation. Our Phoenix HQ became a hub for activists, scientists, and lawyers from across the West. We tackled not just our family's mess but broader issues, fracking pollution in Wyoming, mine runoff in Colorado. Accountability starts local, I told our team, echoing Clara's journals. Jake proved invaluable, negotiating settlements with former execs. I know how they think, he said. One case, a Utah community poisoned by similar dumps. We won $50 million under the Comprehensive Environmental Response, Compensation, and Liability Act (CERCLA), funding health clinics and water filters. Victims hugged us in court, human connections healing old wounds. Victoria's letters trickled in, evolving from defiance to reflection. Prison's a desert of time, she wrote. I see now how I poisoned more than water. I visited her in a low-security facility near Tucson. The drive through saguaro-studded hills a meditation. Face to face. Sans makeup and power suits. She looked mortal. Why forgive? She asked. I don't yet, I replied. But hate chains us. Let's start with truth. We talked for hours, her pressures building the empire. Clara's warnings ignored. No excuses. But understanding dawned, a humane bridge. Ryan reached out. Apologetic. I was spineless. He volunteered pro bono for our legal team, redeeming himself through action. Jake started therapy, confronting his role. We were groomed for greed, he shared. Our bond deepened, sibling rivalry turning to partnership. A major win, lobbying for the Western Water Protection Act, passing in Congress with bipartisan support. It mandated stricter monitoring, inspired by our case. At the signing in D.C., I spoke. This honors the forgotten, ranchers,
Tribes.
families. Legal clarity saves lives. Back home, I hiked the Grand Canyon, Clara's photo in my pack. The vastness reminded me, life's too grand for grudges. The light lesson? Forgiveness isn't weakness, it's the wellspring of change. Challenges persisted. Copycat Corps fought back with lawsuits. But our evidence held. We expanded to education, teaching kids in Boise about eco-stewardship. Jake met someone, a teacher, and found balance beyond business. One sunset, at a foundation gala under desert stars, Victoria called from parole hearing. I'm out in 2 years. Can we try again? One step at a time, I said. Humanity won. Years blurred like monsoon rains washing the desert clean. The Clara Weston Foundation grew into a Western powerhouse, with branches in Seattle, Denver, and L.A. We'd remediated 47 sites, compensated thousands, and influenced laws from state assemblies to federal bills. Your family's fall planted seeds of justice, a Navajo elder told me at a ceremony, gifting a turquoise necklace, symbol of healing waters. Jake married, starting a family grounded in ethics. No more dynasties, he vowed. We co-authored a book, Poison Legacy, From Corporate Greed to Environmental Redemption, Proceeds to Scholarships for Eco Students. It became a bestseller, humanizing our drama. Victoria paroled after 10 years. Frail, but changed. She volunteered at the foundation, sharing insider knowledge to expose others. Our reunion was tentative, dinners at the ranch, stories of Clara bridging gaps. I was blind to the human cost, she admitted. Forgiveness came slowly. A family reborn, not in wealth, but wisdom. My life? I married a hydrologist, met through work, no arrangements, just love. We hiked the Sierras, advocating for wild rivers. The light lesson echoed, revenge destroys, but compassion rebuilds. In the West's endless horizons, I found peace, truth's ultimate victory. The empire's ashes fertilized growth. Clara's spirit lived on, guiding us toward a cleaner,
Kinda world.